It snowed, and I think it's still snowing, but we're kind of in a lull right now. Hi everyone, how are you doing today? Happy Thursday. It's Thursday, February 18th. It's crazy that you forget the date that quickly, but I hope you're all doing well. I just wrapped up my work day in my dining room. We had a remote snow day today, which means basically instead of having a full-blown snow day where the students had off, we had a remote day, so no one went to the building. We had a school day remotely so that we didn't have to make it up at the end of the year. So, which was really nice. I was able to work from home again, so kind of nice for me. It's like a nice ease back into the work routine of life, of being back in the building. So I had 2 days in the building, and today then I got to work from home. So still super busy day for me today, but I was also able to relax a bit by working from home in my kind of pseudo comfortable routine of being here at home. Let's jump right into some things I want to show you today. So I wanted to show you one of my, you can see my grow lamp that I have on my Thanksgiving cactus that I have there in the corner. I have 3 of the lamps showing up on my large plant and 1 down there in the bottom on my yellow plant. I think the product is going to be good. I already see some buds coming. Knock on wood. So, fingers crossed. I think it's working well, and it's only been a few days, 5 days, 4 days, something like that. A week. I don't remember how long it's been, but so far, I think it's worth the investment. So, just throwing that out there. But if you follow me on Instagram at ginger.gerald.stitcher, you would have seen a picture of my grow lamps there on my plant. But another plant that I'm really excited about the product of so far is, and I've showed this in Monday/Sunday's video, is my my orchid. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that word, but you all know what I mean, or you can look it up. The typical orchid that you can buy in most grocery stores or whatever. I bought this at IKEA on clearance about 5 years ago. It was at death's door. This is the first orchid I was ever able to keep alive. I think you can all figure out why I like this orchid. Look at the color. But it is opening up beautifully. This is the first or the most blossom buds I've had on this orchid ever. So we have currently 3 open, 1 opening up there, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more pending. So there's 2 there. We have another one over here. And there's the one that's opening. Not really able to see. I don't have mine in orchid pots. I don't have any of my orchids in orchid pots. This is just a standard flower pot that you can buy. I bought this one at Home Depot. No, Home Depot. I think I bought this one at Home Depot. And it's just, it has the water basin at the bottom. I do have bark inside. And this one's lived in this pot for 2 or 3 years. But it does excellent in them. I water them from the top. I don't have them soak. I just pour water over top. And they do excellent. I set them in, it usually sits there in the corner right by the curtain tie back, and they do excellent. You can see I have one other one right here at the bottom, down here at the very bottom. It usually blooms in the spring, late spring. I do not have a spike on it yet. So it usually blooms every other year for me, whereas this one is more frequent of a bloomer. So there we go. That is my Phalaenopsis-ish. I don't know how to pronounce it. Love my orchids. So, again, I killed many orchids before I ever was able to have those ones survive. So you can have a green thumb. You just have to have patience and practice and find the right window and environment for your plants. Next up, my Kindle Fire. Amazon Kindle. Whatever you want to call it. My tablet. That's not an Apple. I got Pattern Keeper on it. So I was able to get Pattern Keeper on it. And I've been playing around with it. So I am going to play around and figure out if I like it or not. Now, the only thing is I don't have a stylus, and I think a stylus might be helpful. My screen is kind of small, so I don't know, because I have an iPad. It's a large screen. So far I like it, but it's going to take me a while. I got to color in everything. I have almost an entire page of the pattern done. So I'm going to have to color all that in and highlight that before I actually stitch from it, and see if I like doing stitching from this. But so far, so good. I found a YouTube video on how to install Google Play App Store on a Amazon Kindle, and it worked for me. My Kindle's an older version of a Kindle, so it's an older generation, so it's kind of slow, but it's a nice device, so why not give it a try? So I'm going to play around with it, see if I like it. It's not going to hurt, and then we'll go from there and see if I like it. So there we go. That is my update on Pattern Keeper. So I appreciate all of you for the comments and the advice on what to do as far as how to get Pattern Keeper installed. Next up, I don't have all of my stuff. Uno momento. While I was up getting the rest of my stuff, I went ahead and put my flower back, the orchid back, where I normally have it living. So that is where my orchid lives. Anyways, I went ahead and got the sock set that I'm currently working on as a gift. So this is the one that I had completed as of Sunday, that I filmed and showed in my video on Sunday and last night, and this afternoon I went ahead and finished. I bound off the second sock, so I now have an entire set. So in the honor of Crafters Exude Kindness 2021, hashtag Crafters Exude Kindness 2021, I have a complete pair of socks that I can now gift to a friend. So there is my pair. This one was done on Sunday, and this one is now complete and ready to be gifted along with the other one. I did something slightly different this time with the bind off, and I kind of like it a little bit better. Instead of starting right at, because I do a 2x2 rib for my round, and instead of doing a starting at the end of, like, you start at the beginning of the like knit then purl, I started in the middle of the 2 knit stitches for the bind off, and I think it gives it a more even look. There's just a teeny tiny little bit of a dip in the bind off edge than if you look at this one, where it's a much more pronounced jagged line. So just, I don't know, maybe I'm crazy in thinking that, but that is what I thought of trying this time, and I like it so far. So I'm going to play around with that a little bit more, just play around with how I like doing the bind off edge and getting it to how I like it to be. But again, this is a this is knit in Peyton's Croy sock yarn that I bought at Joann Fabrics a number of years ago, and this is Clover Colors is the colorway. I think when I was there the other day they still carry this colorway, but I could be wrong. So this uses up all the yarn that I have of this color, and this is all I have left. So I will wind this up into a ball and then use this as scrap yarn for stuff that, for crafts or tie stuff up or whatever that I have to tie up. So that is my knitting for the day. Next up, my stitching. So again, I worked on, last night I worked on, the only stitching I did since yesterday was I worked on the British Isles pattern that I'm doing for my friend. This is knit on, this is a Heritage Crafts pattern that I bought a number of years ago, and I am I'm stitching this on 28 count ale by Picture This Plus, and here is my progress since last night. So last night, remember yesterday I had all of this done over, I had all of that done. And then last night I went ahead and I came down this line of the eastern seaboard of England, and then I started filling in the water line up, coming back up. So working on this page, so shaking the table. So again, this is the border between Scotland and England. So down here is England. I'm going to continue working on this a little bit and see where we get to. I'm going to stitch on this a little bit tonight. Maybe not all night, because I do want to work on some other things this week and see where we get to. But that is my progress on the British map, the British Isles. Again, that's what it will look like when it is complete. So basically, I am currently working right in through here, because I want to get to this crest and stitch in that crest. Maybe I'll do that tonight. I don't know. We'll see. But then the last thing I want to share with you today is I had a new start earlier in the week. Earlier in the week, I was just kind of feeling lost in my stitching, didn't really know what I wanted to stitch on. I was really wanting to stitch on something with a higher thread count. I really wanted to stitch on something with 46 count, but I couldn't find a pattern that I wanted to stitch. So I did pull out, I really wanted to start a long dog sampler, but the only long dog sampler I had was this one, Le Jardin des Plaisirs. I don't know. Did I do okay? I don't know. So I got this as a gift in a Smalls exchange from Angie Bubme, who you can find on YouTube, FlossTube. She's a good friend of mine. Angie, I met at the Midwest Cross Stitchers Retreat, Bubme. And she gifted this along with the small exchange, the small that I got. And she also, at the same time that she gifted me the Vickery Collection World Globe Collection design that I stitched last summer. So I figured that I would go ahead and start this. Of course, I'm not going to do the same colors because that's just not me. But so I was playing around in my fabrics, and I found a piece of color and cotton, 36 count patina. So 36 count patina. And here is my progress. And it's not a whole lot of progress. Basically, I started up in the upper right-hand corner, and I stitched this little square. And it took me a while because I wasn't sure if I wanted to do 2 over 2 on 36 count or 1 over 2 on 36 count. So I stitched a little bit of 2 over 2. I stitched a little bit of 1 over 1. I pulled it all out, and then I ended up stitching 1 over 2. So here is my progress on my long dog sampler. So there we go. That is, why am I like off on my pointing today? There is my progress on my long dog sampler. So this is showing much more green than what it is in real life. It's a very blue, it's a very blue-gray brown. But on camera, it's showing green. So the colors that I am doing, and again, I don't have those, so let me grab those for you. The colors that I am doing for this long dog are, that cream color is the dark gray. So this design only calls for 3 colors. Typically General Arts, which are Raven, Banker's Gray, and Buckeye Scarlet. So, but they also have a DMC color conversion, which is 310, 414, which is that gray color, that medium gray, and then 304 red. So instead of doing those, I am using 3866 for the Banker's Gray. So everything that's the gray color, the lighter gray, is going to be this cream color. Everything that is black, or 310, is going to be a brown, this brown, rich brown color, 3857. And then everything that is the red color, or Buckeye Scarlet, or 304 DMC, is actually going to be 3777. 3777. So the colors end up looking like this. So here is what they will look like on the fabric. I think they're going to look really nice against this fabric. Up in that top right hand corner where the stitches are is kind of like what the fabric actually looks like now. No, it's not. It's much more, no, it's still showing up very, very green versus what it actually is. Doing the best I can. Lighting is not great with, it's always so hard to show blues on film. So that is my stitching and knitting progress for the day. I hope you're all having a great day. After I get done cleaning up here and editing, I am going to go try a new recipe in my Instant Pot. I found a green lentil, oh, apparently the timer just kicked off, so it is now kind of dark in here. But I have, that is actually a timered grow lights. So it turns on and off automatically for me. I have it set for 8 hours a day. So anyways, I am actually going to go and cook a new green lentil vegetable stew in my Instant Pot tonight. So I've never had it before. I've actually never cooked anything with green lentils before. So I'm going to give them a try, give them a go, and see how they work. So I'm really excited to give that a try. I'm really trying to use my Instant Pot more. I've had it for a couple years now, and I basically have like 3 recipes I cook all the time in. So I'm trying to expand my recipe repertoire. So with that, I hope you all have a great night. Happy stitching. Exude that kindness as all crafters should, and we all will. And I will see you all tomorrow. And as always, don't forget to always be creative.